meeting, you were able to get through the voting on all the budgets, and except for the one Biz just mentioned, we got to reopen. And then now we're down to the articles.
Yeah, we'll go through that in just a second. Yep,
All right.
you're on point though. All right, so Julie, we've got a full deck. RPS, if you want to open the meeting up, if it isn't open yet.
Jeff Leeper here.
I don't see Jeff.
He's the only one I'm missing.
You were able to get through the voting on all the budgets, and except.
Okay. I don't see Jeff.
Okay.
All right, RPS, are we open? Are we live?
Yep, you're good to go, Mr. Chairman.
All right, good evening, everyone. It is March 24th, 2021, 7:03 p.m., depending on which clock I'm looking at here. But welcome to our Finance Committee meeting for March 24th. Just a word to all of the audience who may be watching at home, may be watching live, may watch this on a recorded. Meeting note, this is an open meeting. It is available for review on WRPS. It will be available live. Meeting minutes are also available in the clerk's office and online after they're voted and posted to the website. This afternoon's or this evening's agenda, I've got it up on my screen now. We're basically going to look at to have a discussion on the school budget, which we left out of our departmental voting. We're going to finish the general fund total voting, which will include opening the remaining departments. Last week, we voted all of the departmental budgets. We do have to, because of some new information that came through the last 2 weeks, some additional funding, have to reopen a couple of departments, and our accountant will walk us through that, and then we'll revote them. And then we'll turn to our article voting. And, in the process, we'll be reviewing the final warrant. So that's what our agenda looks like for tonight. Just to give a quick announcement on the folks that are in attendance from the town. We have Elizabeth Zaleski, who's our town accountant. We have Doug Lapp, who is our town administrator. We have a guest tonight who's reviewing whether or not she might be interested in joining the Finance Committee at some point. So we do welcome Linda Sternfeld. Thanks for joining, Linda. We have our committee members, our Assistant Vice Chairman, Bobby McDonald. We have our Secretary, Julie Schaefer. Bill Principe is a member. Megan Rooney is a member. Joe Gambon is a member. Craig Maroney is a member. Bill Stewart is a member. And Lori Childs as a member. And we show absent Jeff Leeper tonight. That's what I have down. Is there anybody else that's on the call that I did not capture? Okay. All right, with that, we'll get going. For starters, Biz, if you wanted to review, I know that we got some additional funding, and I did get some information from the schools that I forwarded out to everyone. I'll share the email that I got from the schools, but could you tell us a little bit about the additional funding, where that came from, and how it was broken up?
Okay, serious misnomer. We did not get additional funding.
Okay.
What occurred is on March 17th at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we received notification from our insurance broker that our projected increase of 7% for this fiscal year 22 is at 0, which is unheard of. So that is what has allowed us to make the changes to the budget that we have made. And it has seriously helped the school department and put a couple more items back in our budget that we had to take out prior to finalizing the budget. So we consider this to be the final budget. Mr. Lapp, is there something you would like to add to this?
Thanks, Biz. Yeah, I would just echo what Biz said. Through our HR director, Stacey Callahan, we were able to get a 0% rate freeze. And so it was really pulling a rabbit out of the hat. The timing was perfect. It was headed right into the meeting that we had with the school department last Thursday. And I know John was in attendance, but maybe I'll just mention for everyone else, as you guys urged us to do at your last meeting to go back and see if there was something else we could do to help supplement the budget. We had a very productive meeting last Thursday that included the school superintendent, Dr. Cron, Jane Hackett, the school committee chairperson, Jill Maroney, myself, Biz, Michael Laughlin, the chairman of the selectmen, and John Pumphrey. And it was a very productive meeting. We had a lot of good back and forth. And it was good to have that kind of meeting because we could be very, frank with each other as it was not televised. And ultimately, we were able to supplement the budget. And as Biz just noted, compared to the last number that we had shared with the school department, so compared to the last number that was going to be the town's local appropriation to the school budget, we're able to increase it by $400,000. So it's significant. And we came out of that meeting, the school department was satisfied. They feel that they can make this work. And they also, are anticipating additional federal aid. So the school committee on Monday night voted to approve their budget based on this new number. And last night, the Board of Selectmen also voted to approve the budget as presented. And maybe I'll just quickly highlight, John, if I can, just 3 other things that are the only other changes from our end. In the town hall budget for utilities and maintenance, it's a net zero change, but I'm just shifting $1,500 from one line up to a custodial line. I'm also able to restore all the cuts to the highway department budget that we had been slated to make before we got the 0% for health insurance. So it's about a $31,000 restoration of the highway department to restore those cuts. And then the last thing is a market correction, a salary adjustment for the HR director, which is something I've wanted to make since I got here and have not been able to do up until mid last week when we got the good news about the health insurance. So those items, as well as the health insurance budget, would need to be revoted in addition to whatever else Biz identifies. So I just wanted to highlight those things.
Doug, it's Julie. Are those figures reflected in the warrant that was emailed out this afternoon?
Yes, the
Yes.
warrant that you have is, everything is reflected in it. All the changes, everything is reflected in this one. This is the final document, as Biz noted, except for any typos that we might find.
Okay, thank you.
John, if you want me to share my screen, I can share the items that need to go to revote, if that is what you would like.
Yeah.
Can I
just,
ask a quick question?
Sure, of course, Joe.
What was the amount, what was the dollar amount of that 7% savings?
It turns out that it comes to about $456,000 of split. So with that, we
That's
were
great.
able to put a lot more money into the school department, rectify our side of the issue. And we still feel as though we are in a safe zone for the health insurance. We'll watch it closely going into 22.
That's great. That's great news.
Okay. Before we jump into that, Biz, I just wanted to review, and this is a email that I sent out to everyone from Jane. And I asked her to just basically walk us through last meeting. She identified that there was a gap in the school budget. And then, as a committee, we did ask the town and the school committee to go back, which they, to their credit and their full credit, they got around the table.
John, can you put that up on the screen? Because I don't think that we received that.
Can
If
you not?
that's at all possible.
I was just sharing it. You couldn't see it?
Okay, no,
Try sharing it again. Can you see it?
okay.
You see anything on the screen?
Oh,
right?
it's an email. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just asked her to put together some bullets about how, things were broke down. So basically, we had a gap. They talked about a $2.45 million gap. They were using $750,000 in their ESSER 2 funding, which I believe is COVID related. Biz, correct me if I'm wrong. And it left them with a deficit after that of 1.268 million, with some other things that they were doing within the budget. So how did they close the gap? It was 409,000 that came from the increased funding from the town, which, as Biz mentioned, was not an increase in funding. Really, it was a reduction in our expense. The net result was still a positive 409,311 over to the schools. School increased their use of grant money to 160,000, which is one-time use money. The circuit breaker was 160,000, They also utilize their revolving to close their operational budget to the tune of $66,000. The schools is, reduction in salaries, which again, some of these salaries may be tied to positions that are going away. In their line item for salaries, they think they can get by with 287,000 less. And then they're using additional 750,000 from the ESSER 2 to bring their deficit down to 195,048. So the school feels comfortable that with the reductions that they've made, they can come in and they can get by, because there's additional Chapter 70 money that we do anticipate. There's also additional federal funding that may come through that'll take the pressure off the schools. So they feel comfortable with that number, that they're going to be able to close the gap, this 195,000, and be under budget and in line. So they're happy with the amount that the town is giving them. And this is how they're going to close the budget gap that they forecasted on the last call. Okay. Any questions on that?
I've got a question for Biz. You said that the 7% savings was $456,000.
Well, it's based on the split. It's a pretty significant split that we have to do. So the split was $456,000 is going to come out of the split between the town and the school. So the net increase with everything we had to do made the school go up by 409, and then the town was the difference. It's kind of not a complicated formula, but it's a complicated formula.
Okay, yeah, I'm not so concerned about the split, but if the projected savings at 7% is more than $400,000, then that means our premium for insurance is $5 or $6 million a year. Is that right?
Well, hold on. Let me scroll down to my screen so I can tell you exactly what we have for our insurances. Our total insurance budget, and we have different insurances. We have dental insurance, and then we have the health insurance. It's the health insurance budget that went down.
Okay.
Okay, and it's not necessarily split, but our total budget for health insurance, active and retirees, with dental, with life, vision, no, vision is not included. Dental, life, and health, our total budget is $8,015,000.
Okay. All right. Got it.
It's a big savings, and the town does have a good plan. So this is, as we discussed, and this is a one-time reduction, and we just have to be aware of that going forward.
Yeah, that's a huge reduction, because everyone out there, I keep reading headlines of double-digit increases.
Correct.
That's incredible.
And hard work by the Human Resources Director, working with our broker in order to get us this type of savings. And kudos to Stacy for all the hard work she's done.
Yep. So good stuff. So the net result is that the school department has, although they haven't solved it completely, they feel very confident that later in the year, when we have additional, some decisions on Chapter 70 and the potential federal aid, as we've all seen the packages that the government has passed, there'll be additional aid that'll come to the schools to help them close the gap for 2022. It's not a great rosy picture, beyond that, especially, but we're all assuming that, COVID is eventually going to go away and we're going to get back to some sense of normalcy, which will contribute to a lot of, just things like renting out the school and renting out all the play areas and everything else. It's very complicated now, very, significantly reduced. We hope that stuff's going to go away. Some of those revolving accounts will start to get healthy again. So, again, not the best plan, but at least a plan. I think it's the best plan considering everything that we're facing today. And we're very fortunate to have the hard work that everybody did to kind of get to where we're at, where we can actually, we can present a budget that will work. Okay. So with that, Biz, you said you wanted to kind of share the general fund and kind of go through the different departments so that we can look at the departments that we need to reopen or reconsider. If you want to start with the schools, we can certainly do that, but however you want to do it.
Biz, you're muted if you're talking.
Doesn't that make some people happy? Okay, let's go over here. I'm going to start at the top. Can you see my spreadsheet?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to go all the way to the top. And what we have here is what we had previously discussed. This says revote. And the change here is the Human Resources Director salary. That's what we had discussed. So we would need a revote on this. Would you like me to go over all the changes first before you revote, or you want to vote as we go along?
We can just roll it top to bottom. So
Okay.
some of you may have seen an email that came out from like Doug. I think you sent the email about the salary for the HR director. She did a good job of establishing how her salary is undervalued compared to the market, and that this is the town's. I believe she was under by 20,000. This looks like a 10,000 bump, or does that represent? Was there 10,000?
No, you're right. You're right, John. What the survey showed was she was short by 20, but what I'm including here is only 10.
Okay. So this is a first step, and we may see an additional. We may come back to revisit this conversation next year if the climate's still the same. Okay. So that is the change here to the total Board of Selectmen budget. Now I'm looking at this, Biz, if I'm looking at this right. And by the way, we haven't voted that. I know you put the yes in, but
Yeah. Well, I'll change it if it's a no.
Yeah, no, it looks like you went from 488.8 to 723, and that's because you put the wage adjustment obligations. Were they not voted last week?
Oh, no, they were in there last week.
Okay.
Okay, they were in there. So the only difference last week to this week is the director salary right here.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we'll set this up. Who's going to vote first here?
Someone needs to make a motion to approve the Board of
I'll
Selectmen
take
budget.
Megan.
I'll make a motion to reopen the
All right,
Board of
so-
Selectmen budget.
So Bobby's going to make the motion, and Megan's going to do the second.
I'll second.
Okay. All right. So we have a motion and a second too. And when we come to revotes, we have to reopen the budget, then we have to revote it, and then that will close it. Okay. So I have a motion and a second to reopen the budget for the Board of Selectmen. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the budget is reopened. Now I'll entertain a motion to approve the new budget at $723,000.
I'll make that motion to approve the Board of Selectmen's budget at $723,000.
I'll second it. And I have a second from Megan. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so that budget is closed. Thank you very much. I saw some highlighting up above. There we go. Another revote.
This is just the,
Can you slide it down a little more?
yeah, working on it. There was a slight change here to balance out the budget and the school administration electricity. We've reduced that a little bit more. So the total value is 453. So request to reopen and revote.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to reopen the utilities and general government budget.
I make a motion to reopen the utilities budget.
I have a motion and a second from Megan.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 And what one's getting changed on that?
It's just that here at the school administration, we had to adjust that a little bit just to balance. I think it was like $523 or something. It was a minor value.
Yeah, I mean, Biz, it does look like it goes from 481 to 453, but you're saying it's only a couple $100. So that's
Well,
the.
you're looking at the 21 budget, John. The first column is the final 21 budget versus the recommended 22 budget.
Okay, and so we don't have the budget that we voted last week in there, right?
No.
I got it right here.
Let me just jump
got it?
in.
450.
No, I was just going to say, John, what Biz was saying, sorry. What Biz was saying was just that from the last budget you saw to this one, it's only $500 different. That's
Okay.
what.
All right,
It's a very, very minimal change.
got it. Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to approve the utilities and general government for 453, 227.86.
I make that motion to
Okay, I have
approve
a
the
motion.
budget.
Do I have a second?
It's changed.
I have a second from Megan. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that's a vote. Thank you.
Let's see. The next budget that we have here is the education budget. The education budget, if you recall, was 25,938,000, I believe, or 958. So this first column is the 21 budget. This is the recommended 22 budget. So from the original 22 budget, it has gone up roughly 409,000, which is an increase of 127,000 over last year's budget.
So I don't think we voted this budget last week, so we
Correct.
don't have to reopen it. We can simply take a
Right.
vote.
Right.
I'll entertain a motion to
Oh.
approve the education budget at 28,419,737.03.
I make the motion to approve the budget at $28,419,737.03.
I have a motion and a second from Megan. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the
Right.
next budget correction.
Craig
here will-
abstains.
Yes, sir. I have you there, so I just assumed you'd still abstain. I'm sorry.
I abstained too, even though I don't vote. I like to have them down that I abstained.
Okay.
You're talking about the education budget, you're abstaining?
Yep, Pomfrey,
Yeah.
John Pomfrey and Craig.
All right, highway.
Next modification, this is to reopen the budget for
Yeah,
the
Make a
highway.
motion to reopen the highway department's budget.
I have a motion to reopen and a second from Megan. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. It is open. I'll entertain a motion to approve the new highway budget of 1,038,280.72.
I make the motion to approve the highway budget, $1,038,280.72.
What was the major changes on that?
It was about 31,000. We restored their budget that we had cut under the hired materials and equipment.
Okay.
Um,
I vote
Mr. Maroney, you still abstaining? Oh, I'm sorry.
I am, thank you.
Any question, any further discussion on this budget? Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Opposed?
This is the big one. This is the health insurance budget.
Okay, group insurance. I'll entertain a motion to reopen group insurance.
I make a motion to reopen the group insurance.
I have a motion and a second from Megan. All in favor?
Aye.
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 I'll entertain a motion to approve the new group insurance budget at $8,015,503.81.
I make a motion to approve the group
I have a motion
insurance
to
at
approve.
$8,015,503.81.
I have a motion to approve. I have a second from Megan. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, and then the last piece is to approve the budget in the aggregate or in the total. And the amount that you'll be voting, which is inclusive of the overlay, is where I have it blocked, which is 68,761, 474.51.
Is this the one, Biz, that we have to state that it's
Aye.
68? It's that final number with 594,064.09 from overlay?
Yes,
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to approve the total budget with 594,064.09 from overlay.
I make a motion to approve the final budget, $68,761,474.51
With,
with $594,000 $64.09 coming from overlay.
With a motion to approve. And I have a second from Megan or question? Good, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Could you give me that overlay figure one more time?
Yep.
$594,064.09.
Oh, I see it. Okay, thank you.
Leave that up just for a minute.
Sir?
Good.
Sorry, Biz, I think you should have gave her that number.
Julie,
I
you all
what?
set?
I think you
I
should
got
have
it. I'm
gave her
caught
that
up.
number.
Julie, this is also in your packet. It's the
Yeah.
same number that's in the packet, okay?
Yeah, I'm following along in the packet along with the screen, so
Okay, perfect.
that's great. Thank you.
So thank you all for voting the 22 operating budget. And you had already voted the water and sewer budget, so the budgets are complete. Thank you very
Right
much.
on.
Yay.
Thank you.
Oh, it took us all year.
Everybody.
Right, now let's turn our attention, just before we get too excited, let's turn our attention to the warrant. Okay, I've got the warrant up. Share my screen. That over a little bit.
Yep. I'm gonna thank Biz and Doug for doing all the hard work they put into doing this budget in such these hard times.
Indeed.
Absolutely.
And the school department and the board of selectmen, because if we didn't all work together, we wouldn't be sitting here tonight. So thank you to
Yeah,
everybody
you all
involved.
did a fabulous job.
No, we appreciate it. It is a team effort and we appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Okay, so just review some of the some of the things that are in the beginning of the warrant, because we've obviously have some new finance committee members, and I think that it's important to recognize the finance committee doesn't really approve the article. The town approves the article. They vote on it, but what happens is in the beginning of the town meeting, the moderator will I'll make a motion that we will go with the finance committee's recommendation, and then the town will vote to accept that we will go with the finance committee's recommendation. So when we come to a budget item, if we have recommended to approve it, that's the first thing that we will entertain and vote on. If we recommend to disapprove, which this also says, then the article will automatically be moved to pass over, in terms of the moderator will say, the finance committee disapproves this article and we have made a motion to pass over. Generally, we don't go there unless something comes up at the last minute. And like, for example, we were going to buy a property and we approved it during our meetings like we are right now. And then we get to town meeting, we decide we're not going to buy it. Well, at that point, we would vote before the town meeting to disapprove that article. And then the moderator, when it comes up, will pass over the article. Okay, so that's a little bit about how things work. And what we're actually doing here is not approving things per se. We're making our recommendation to approve them, and then the town will vote to approve. Okay, all right. So good information here.
And of course, any town, any resident can get up and speak on any budget item or article, and if they feel it's not right, they can vote against it and try to convince the voters not to approve it, even though we did.
Right, absolutely.
So it's the voters that make the final decision, and some people don't understand that out there.
Yep. And if you're not familiar with some of the terminology, overlay, raise and appropriate, undesignated fund balance, the nice thing is that we've got a nice clear definition of all of these things right in the beginning of the warrant. So a lot of work goes into that, making sure that that's there and available to the town. And I feel like sometimes they residents kind of skim over that stuff, and then they hear terminology, they don't know what it means. Spend some time, everybody should, to kind of go through that. All right, so we're looking at the special town meeting list of articles.
Okay,
So, these articles, many of these things, or I should all of these things have been discussed at previous meetings. When we brought the different department heads in, they talked to us about the fact that they're going to have these things available, or we've had discussions with the town accountant, town administrator, et cetera, about these items coming up in the article. So there shouldn't be any like big, huge ahas or surprises. That's not the intent. At this point, we should be at the point where we can consider it. But if there are any questions or anybody has, they go back in their notes and they say, hey, listen, I had a question on this, or this didn't seem right, or I wasn't aware of this, or I didn't remember this, we can stop and have a discussion. So I'll try and make time in the process of voting here to make sure that we make time to leave that kind of room for conversation if we need it, okay? I also do have at the ready, and I did forward everyone a copy of the capital plan. So if we need to get reference on the capital plan, and it's not a bad idea for somebody to have that up if they have a computer, and they can do that, kind of have that up on the other screen or whatever it is to look at the capital plan. I know, Joe, you were on the capital planning committee. So if something comes up that is not on the capital plan and we're trying to consider an article, please speak up, because we cannot vote on anything that's not on the capital plan if it's over $50,000. Okay.
I haven't had a chance. That's usually the first thing I do is go through the articles. I mean, the summary at least, and look at the dollar amounts. And if something jumps anything over 50,000, I make sure it's on the capital plan usually. And I haven't had a chance to do that yet, but.
Right. If you notice or we notice anything that's on here that's not on the capital plan, then we can't vote on it. That's according to the charter of the capital. It has to be on the capital plan. The capital plan committee has to rank and rate it and put it on the capital plan before we can vote on it. Okay. So it's kind of all of, it's a shared responsibility here to try and make sure that we stay within the guidelines. Otherwise, we have to reopen things and redo things. And ideally, we don't want to do that. All right. So with that, Biz, I'm assuming the ones that have dollar amounts need to be voted, or do we also need this Article 2 because we're establishing a fund? Do we need to have a vote from the Finance Committee on it?
okay, this is how we'll work this for those who are new. This at town meeting, there's a special town meeting which addresses issues from the current fiscal year. It's a special within the annual. So the first part we're going to go over is the special within the annual. And on Article number 1, it is budgetary items to fix items for 21 to make sure that we close out these accounts in a proper fashion. If anybody has any questions on those, they've been presented before. Megan, I think you've already received it. Linda, I'm not sure if you've seen this information in the past or not. So it'd be recommended approval by the Finance Committee, Article 1. And for Article number 2, which is the marijuana host agreement, that's just recommendation as presented. There's no fundings really at this point for that. We're not transferring anything out. We're just establishing the fund. And then we have new that came up at our last meeting last week, $175,000 from the water undesignated fund balance for the Hannigan water treatment plant upgrades. That's an emergency situation that was presented to Capital last week. Capital approved it. Now it's on the town meeting warrant. That has a like amount from the town of Abington. Undesignated fund balance, for those who do not know, that is so-called profit, although it's not profit, it's money left over from a budgetary standpoint that we can use for future items, just like with the free cash certification. Transfer of funds for the master plan technical assistance invoice. We had discussed it this last week as well. This is revoting Article 15 from the annual town meeting for fiscal year 21. That was originally an article for the beginning of a fire truck purchase. And at this point in time, we're taking that fire truck purchase in a different avenue. So we will be closing out that article, 40,000 to fund the master plan. And then as we go into the annual, we'll be taking the remainder 45 and putting it into the capital stabilization fund. So that is the special. And
So let's, before we go any further, let's get the voting on the special done. Okay, so Bobby, basically Article 1, what is it?
Yeah.
And then what's how much is it and what's the funding source?
So if you just read the summary, that would probably be the easiest.
What do you mean the summary?
Page 4 of the packet. There's a, back up a little bit, John.
I think,
There you
I
go.
think you meant the
Right there.
subject. It's
Yeah,
listed
right
as
there.
Yeah, that's where I thought that's where it
Okay.
might have been. Okay.
The funding source. I make a motion to approve Article 1 in the special town meeting. It's $690,000 coming from the undesignated fund balance.
For
Under the subject.
Budgetary
items, FY21 budgetary items.
budgetary items.
But to pay off the rest of the budgetary items. Contractual buyout, snow and ice deficit, disposal fee, health insurance, with a total of $690,000.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, so I can see her. Or Megan, I need to hear you. If you're
Oh,
gonna-
second.
I have a motion and a second from Megan. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, that's a vote. The next
I
one,
make a motion to approve Article 2 on the special town meeting as written, approved as written.
okay, I have a motion to
Marijuana host community agreement.
set up a fund for the host community agreement. I have a motion. Do I have a second from Megan?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that's a vote. Article 3.
All right, let me go back to that other page.
Hey,
I make a
Biz and
motion-
Doug, before
Yes.
John, before Bobby gets started, does this article here have anything to do with what specifically are we talking about here with the upgrades? Is it just general upgrades, or is this due to that new rule that they had for the fire retardants that need to be filtered out of the water?
This is
The new
specific,
ruling that's coming through.
right? This is specific for the 2 filtering pressure vessels for the Hannigan treatment. And that does have to do with different modifications that came down from the DEP and the EPA. So
We did
in
get
order-
we did get a grant to supplement that. Like, I think it was $190,000.
correct, for
Okay,
engineering
so
for the
design.
it's this
engineering.
175 plus that 175 plus the 190?
It's
Or is that,
170,
could that 190 take away some of this?
no, that does
No,
not
the
take that
190s
away.
already brings it down to 175.
Right. The
Okay.
190 is a grant for engineering design services that we'll need. And this is for the purchase of the vessels themselves with a like amount from the town of Abington.
Got it. Okay, thanks.
Okay, you're welcome.
Go ahead, Bobby.
I make a motion to approve Article 3 from the special town meeting for $175,000 be taken from the water undesignated fund balance.
Mhm.
Do I have to read everything else for the
The
No.
subject, yeah.
If you're looking at your
the
screen,
water
Bobby,
commissioners?
Article 3, Hannigan Waterman Treatment Plant upgrades, 175,000 from undesignated fund balance. Okay. I have a motion. Do I have a second from Megan?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Article 4.
Make a motion to approve Article 4 on the special town meeting for $40,000.
To transfer funds from final master plan technical assistance invoice.
Bobby, under the column where it says subject, that's
Bobby, if
subject.
you look at the computer screen, Bob,
From 6/22/20 annual town meeting, Article 15.
That's the funding source, correct?
okay, I
Did I
have
say that
a
right?
motion to approve 40,000 transfer of funds for final master plan technical assistance invoice as a transfer from the 6/22 annual town meeting, Article 15. I have a motion. Do I have a second from Megan?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, that's your special town meeting articles. Article 1,
Uh, On the,
this is still a special town meeting right here, I'm sorry.
no, we completed the special, right? So
Yeah.
we're on to,
Annual town meeting right here,
mhm.
okay? So
Okay.
so Biz, Article 1 through 6, do we have to vote those?
No, you do not. The only thing you have to approve as presented is Article 2, set elected officials compensation. And that is as recommended. Recommends as presented.
I make a motion to approve Article 2 in the annual town meeting as presented.
I have a motion to approve Article 2 as presented. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second from Megan. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then Articles 3 through 6, that's recommend as presented to establish various stabilization funds for the water department, sewer department, and the capital stabilization for the general fund.
Sorry, before we make that motion, can I abstain from the number 2, please?
Number
Elected
2.
official compensation.
Sure, no problem.
Thanks.
Julie, do you have that there?
Who was that abstained?
Craig?
Craig.
No.
Okay.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve Articles 3 through 6 for the establishment of various stabilization funds and enterprise funds for water, sewer, and general fund capital.
Yes.
I make that motion.
Okay, I have a motion and a second from Megan.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. And no abstain, right?
Oh, you know what? I have to abstain because my sister's water commissioner.
That's right. So I need a new motion. I have another, we have to revote that one. My apologies.
I'll make a motion to accept Articles 3 through 6 to establish the stabilization fund and capital fund for as written.
Okay, I have a motion and a second from Megan. And a revote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, we're up to a roaring start. Thanks very much. All right. Article 7. Bobby.
I make a motion to approve Article 7, the annual town meeting at the town's general operating budget at $68,761,474.51.
Didn't we already vote that?
No, you voted
Yeah,
the
well,
individual
we did
numbers.
budget.
The article.
But you have to on here too.
And what's the funding source, Bobby? I didn't hear that.
Raise and appropriate.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second from Megan?
Second.
And transfer, please say and transfer as
And
well.
transfers
Thank
and
you.
overlay
That's about a transfer.
and
but that's
whatever
okay.
else we can get money from.
Okay. Bobby, you donating this time or what?
And I have a
I
big-
wish.
All right, I have a motion from Bobby and I have a second from Megan. All in favor?
Aye.
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 With the budget. Thank you. All right, Article 8.
Let's see. I make a motion to approve Article 8 at $55,000 as presented.
Subject is,
Source to the undesignated fund balance.
Okay, I have a motion to approve Article 8. I have a second from Megan.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Article 9.
I make a motion to approve Article 9 at $100,000 as presented in the funding source to the undesignated fund balance.
Okay, Bobby, you want to look at the screen, your computer screen? I don't know if you can see it. See transfer to stabilization right there?
Oh, mine says on my thing, it says funding source undesignated fund balance.
Right. But
On
the
number
article-
nine.
The subject, Bobby's trying to read the original actual article that was printed versus the summary here.
If you read the
Oh,
summary on the computer screen, Bobby, do you see what I'm saying? See transfer to stabilization.
Okay, transfer to stabilization fund,
Yeah, if you read it off of the
$100,000.
screen, it's much easier.
All right,
All right, I'll keep moving it. You don't have to move it, okay? All right, so I have a motion to approve Article 9, transfer 100,000 to stabilization from undesignated fund balance. I have a second from Megan.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I,
Opposed? Okay. Article 10,
make a motion to approve Article 10 at $45,000, transfer it to capital stabilization fund.
funding source.
Funding source is a transfer from 6/22/20 annual town meeting, Article 15.
Okay, so now, just so we're clear on this, this is an additional 45,000. Is that the same article as we transferred from before?
The original Article 15 of the annual town meeting 21 was for $85,000. We're
Okay.
splitting
Yeah.
that. We're taking 40,000 to cover the final invoice for the master plan and the special. We're taking the remaining 45,000 to start the capital stabilization fund.
Okay. I have a motion from Bobby. I have a second from Megan.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I,
Thank you. Article 11,
Make a motion to approve Article 11 from the accountant, reauthorize revolving funds in its various number,
Various amounts, correct?
amount, which is self-funding.
I have a motion from Bobby to approve Article
Second.
11, and a second from Megan. All in favor?
Aye.
I,
Board of Health, Article 12.
Recycling road repairs for phase 2 for $120,000. Make a motion to approve from the undesignated fund balance.
I have a motion on Article 12. I have a second from
Second.
Megan. Did you say aye?
All in favor? Aye.
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 All in favor? Thank you. Article
Number
13.
13, fire department. Make a motion to approve the lease purchase fire administration vehicle, $22,094 from the undesignated fund balance.
Okay, I have a motion.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
I,
Article 14.
14, highway department, purchase a dump truck, $75,000 from the undesignated fund balance.
I have a motion from Bobby.
Second.
Second from Megan. All in favor?
Aye.
I,
15.
15,
Nobody.
highway department,
From that.
Go ahead, Deb. I mean, go ahead, Julie.
Is there anyone abstaining from the highway department?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, the only one, for us abstaining, I know Barnaby with water and sewer. Craig, what department's for you? I know it's school, but what else?
School, well, for highway in the collector's office, I just don't want to vote on anything that includes salary, but I have no issue voting for a dump truck or paving the roads, so.
Oh, okay. 'Cause
I'll
I know-
abstain from the two school department ones further down the list.
Okay. So the highway department's okay with this one.
Yeah.
So Bobby's out for
Craig, do you have-
water and
do you know-
sewer and.
Do you have a relative or something that works at the highway department?
I may,
Okay,
yeah, I may.
okay. No, I know, well, I know your wife's on the school committee, so
So-
that's why you do it there.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, and you have me out for schools as too, even though I'm not voting, I like to have it on the record, okay? All right.
So I just like to stay away from the salary lines.
Article 16, highway department.
No, Article 15, Bob.
Make a motion to
Article 15.
I just read that. Repave Pine Haven and Gardner Roads, $180,000 from undesignated fund balance.
Okay, I have a motion for Article 15. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, Article 16.
16, make a motion to approve Highway Department Phase 1, Spring, Summer, Beach Street improvements, town capital projects, $200,000 from the undesignated fund balance.
I have a motion.
Second.
And a second from Megan. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Joe, you're keeping us honest on the capital plan? Joe?
That's
Sorry?
on there.
I said you're keeping us honest on the capital plan, right? If anything is not on the capital plan, you're gonna speak up, right?
This is on the capital plan, yeah.
Yeah, no, if something is not, you're gonna stop us, right?
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
Well, I'm going from memory.
17,
It's hard to, I'm
17.
trying to, I can't fit both spreadsheets on my screen at the same time, but
Okay,
I know this is on there.
all right.
17, Board of Selectmen, Town Capital Project, $75,000. Make a motion to approve from undesignated fund balance.
Have a motion.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Aye.
18.
18, Police Station roof replacement, $120,000. Make a motion to approve from the undesignated fund balance.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Article 19.
Hold on. 19, Town Clerk, new voting machines and related equipment, $45,000. Make a motion to approve from the undesignated fund balance.
Second.
Have a motion.
Aye.
Did somebody have a question? I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 You?
20, School Department, technology upgrades, $100,000. Make a motion to approve from undesignated fund balance.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
21, School Department, various vehicle lease purchases, $70,000. Make a motion to approve from undesignated fund balance.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 22, Police Department, 2 new cruisers, $96,000. Make a motion to approve from the marijuana host community agreement.
Okay, I
Second.
have a motion
Second.
and a second from Megan. All in favor?
Capital plan has them at 98,000.
Double
Biz,
check on that.
Our request came in at 96
Yeah.
and this is
Yeah, I
the funding.
remember John saying 96 too.
Right, so this is the funding that we have available. Should we get to the further into the town meeting or into the fiscal year and we find they need additional funds, I'm sure we can come up with $2,000 somewhere.
As long as- Yeah, as long as the capital plan's higher, I don't think it's an issue.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, thank you.
okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Article 23, debt authorization. Does this need to be voted?
This is just recommend as presented. This needs to go to ballot. And this is for future debt. It has no financial impact for the 22 budget. And this is based on the documentation presented by South Shore Regional VOTEC last week. And like we said, that's the future. So there is no financial impact right now, just recommend as presented. And again, it has to go to ballot.
Make a motion to approve it as presented.
Second.
Motion?
Will that be on the April 3rd ballot?
No, ma'am. We have to
No.
get it through town meeting first.
Oh,
Did I
okay.
misspeak, Doug?
Yeah, I don't think it goes on the ballot. I think it's just all the towns that make up the South Shore district, they all have to vote it at town meeting, but I don't actually believe it goes onto the ballot in the town of Rockland. But there's no financial impact in FY22, and the way that Mr. Hickey, the superintendent, explained it, while their total authorization is like $18 million, something like that, they're doing it in multiple phases over many, many years. And so where we have as part of our assessment to the regional school district an amount for capital, they're basically going to be kind of swing it out. So instead of us paying part of the assessment for capital, part of it's going to go to the debt service, but it's going to be phased in, staggered over many years. So it's all the towns have to vote it at town meeting. I don't believe there's a ballot vote.
Okay.
My apologies.
Article 24, Abington Rockland Joint Water Works, Water Department Enterprise Budget, $3,452,916. Make a motion to approve from Water Department revenues.
Hang on a second, Bobby. I don't think you can vote on this one, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
All right,
You're right.
Joe, you want to vote on this one?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the Water Department Enterprise Fund budget for $3,452,916 from the Water Reserve Department.
From Water
Second.
Department revenues. Okay, we have a motion.
Second.
And a second from Megan. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
This, you want to
Hey,
do this
Biz,
one?
can I ask a question on that one?
Yes, sir.
Is that basically the total of the undesignated fund that's going into this enterprise fund? Or,
No, what it is the current balance, the water and sewer department funds right now are in special revenue funds. So the way the article's written is all funding currently in the account will go with this and now be designated as an enterprise fund. It's just a change of classification. The $3,452,916, that's what they're budgeting for revenues to come in during fiscal 22 to manage their operations.
so that'll go into the new enterprise fund, and
Right.
so the reserve fund still has a balance in it. That's all right.
Yeah, well, what will
Undesignated
happen?
reserve fund, yeah.
Right, their undesignated reserve fund is at a minimum right now because of the 175 we had to vote at the special. So
And
they have
probably-
very little undesignated, and as we go forward, there'll be more money to move around. But we are
Is
trying
that-
to move 100,000 to the water stabilization fund, so.
But basically that undesignated reserve fund for the water department is gonna go into this enterprise fund, and the undesignated reserve fund for the water department, is that gonna disappear?
Well, there's,
um,
I think we have a couple of word issues here. The water department fund right now is special revenue. Every single penny that goes into that fund stays with that fund. And it's called undesignated fund balance, or just like in the general fund, it's an undesignated fund balance. It's not a special account. So and then when they use their undesignated fund balance, that will reduce as they're using it for different articles. Then all of the same information remains with the water department. Nothing changes. It's just a name change to an enterprise fund versus a special revenue fund. This way they can keep their money in a clearer fashion than they are right now. Does that make any sense? You can say no, Joe.
No, I'm just trying to understand. So basically, the unreserved fund, which is where all the revenues go into, and they
Okay.
draw on that to pay for articles and stuff. And
Okay.
whatever left stays there from year to year, the balance. But
Okay.
now that's typically gonna turn into the enterprise fund, right?
And no, an unreserved fund is part of a balance sheet. It's like a retained earnings when you're doing a balance sheet. It's the same thing. It stays within that balance, within that checkbook. It never leaves that checkbook.
Oh, I get it.
Even-
So these
Yes.
revenues are gonna be part of their income statement as total revenues, and then expenses against it, and
Exactly. Some people think an unreserved fund balance means we have an extra fund out there, but we really don't. That's just the net profit or loss on the operation during that time frame. So everything stays where it is. It does not move anyplace else. That help?
Right, because don't they have an account that's water receipts too? Because I know in the past, they used to come from water receipts or that undesignated water account that they had.
Terminology I found here in Rockland has not been quite what it should be because people thought that they had different revenue accounts that they could draw from, but you don't. You have one account. That's it. There isn't a special receipts over here, and there's not a special unreserved over here. This is just part of the balance sheet. It's not any special revenue. So you will build your undesignated fund balance off of your water department revenues and expenses. So if
From the
our
prior
revenues
year.
from the prior year or the current year, as we're closing out 21, if we make $100,000 profit, revenue over expense, that now becomes our undesignated fund balance, also known as retained earnings, or in the general fund, it would be called free cash and retain undesignated fund balance. They all mean the same thing. It's just three different ways to say it.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so there's no special revenue accounts, it's just one account, that's it. We're changing the terminology, making it an enterprise, which will be considered a self-sustaining enterprise, just like its own business within the business.
Right.
Did that help?
Yeah.
Maybe? Okay,
Okay.
okay.
So the
Question
benefit of changing it in layman's terms is that it's going to make it a more flexible account, but also something that reflects them as a separate company.
Right, what happens right now, how it works with the way we report to the government is the special revenue funds, water and sewer are mixed in with the general fund. And we have to get them separated out to be their own. And legally at the end of a year, we would typically take those special revenue funds and send them over to the general fund as profit to the general fund. But we need to keep them separate. That's why we established the enterprise fund. So they become self-sustaining. There's no confusion as to we can have this money in the general fund because we can't. It's a self-protection type of thing.
Right, they're their own entity.
Absolutely. Yep. An enterprise fund is self-sustaining enterprise.
All right,
John, I can abstain from the following articles. There's a bunch of them that have to do with water.
So
So
Julie, Bob is
I gotta-
removing himself from Article 24,
To 37.
abstaining to 37.
Got it. I got it as Joe Gambone is
Yeah, I'll step in and.
making the
Joe,
motion.
we'll vote them all.
I'm trying to look at these
All right,
articles
so-
as well as go look at the capital plan as well. So we're at 25 now.
Yes.
We're at Article
27.
25.
I'll make a motion to transfer to the water stabilization fund $100,000 funding resource, the water department undesignated fund.
I have a
Second.
motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Article 26. I make a motion to accept Article 6 to purchase the dump truck for $75,000 from the water department's undesignated fund.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Article 8, I make a motion for the water treatment plant upgrades of $100,000 to come from the water department's undesignated fund.
I have a
Second.
motion and a second.
You
Go ahead.
missed 27, I believe.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Wanted me to
Article
upgrade?
27, I'll make a motion to, I'm sorry?
No, I was just messing with you. I said, I'm ruining Mr. Joe.
I'll make
Okay, you're
a,
doing a great job. Article 27.
I'll make a motion to accept the Article
27.
27 for water meter upgrades of $75,000 from the water department's undesignated fund.
Okay,
Balance.
a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, Article 28, Joe.
I did Article 28 already, right?
Nope.
No.
All right, I'll make a motion to accept Article 28 for water treatment plant upgrades of $100,000. Funds coming from the water department's undesignated fund balance.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, Article 29.
Article 29, I'll make a motion to accept Article 20 for water filtering equipment for $100,000. Sources are from the water department's undesignated balance fund.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I don't,
All right.
Article 30.
I'll make a
Go ahead,
motion to
Jeff.
accept
One
Article
second.
30. I'm sorry.
1 second. Julie,
I'm looking for it on the master plan and I don't see it.
which
The
one's
water-
that?
Water filtering equipment,
100,000?
yeah.
And a second.
I lost it. Where's my capital plan here?
Isn't it the fourth or fifth one down, right above water tanks?
Yeah, the treatment plant filter and pump upgrades.
I think it was the filter upgrade for 100.
Yeah. Is that one and the same?
Yeah, treatment plant filter and pump upgrades.
Okay,
No.
we're on 30.
Yep. All right, so that was Article 29, Article 30.
Article 30, I'll make a motion to accept Article 30 for contractual buyouts for $35,121. To come
Okay.
from the water department's undesignated fund balance.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Article
I'll
31.
make a motion to accept Article 31 for water cross connections for $40,000 to come from the water department's undesignated balance fund or fund balance.
I have a motion and a second from Megan. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Article 32.
All right, I'll make a motion to accept Article 32 for hydrant replacements of $25,000 to come from the water department's undesignated fund balance.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Article
That
33.
backhoe, I just want to see if that backhoe for $30,000 is on it, right?
Yep.
It's not, it doesn't have to be. I'll make a motion to accept Article 33 for the backhoe lease payment of $30,000
It is
to come
on.
from the water department's undesignated fund balance. Does somebody have a question?
Second.
Oh,
I have a motion and a second. Is there a question?
It is on the capital plan for $30,000.
it doesn't need to be. It's on a 50. It's all right.
Yeah,
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Article 34, I'll make a motion to accept for vehicle replacement, pavement equipment for $25,000 to come from the water department's
Article
undesignated
34
fund
is
balance.
vehicle replacement.
Oh, the vehicle, I'm sorry. Article 34, I'll make a motion to accept for vehicle replacement, $25,000 to come from the water department's undesignated balance, fund balance.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You?
Article
Article
35, I'll make a motion to accept Article 35 for paving equipment at $25,000 to come from the water department's undesignated fund balance.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Article 36.
I'll make a motion to accept Article 36 for water sludge removal of $40,000 to come from the water department's undesignated fund balance.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay.
Article 37, I'll make a motion to accept Article 37 for water emergency response plan for $15,000 to come from the water department's undesignated fund.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, 24 through 37, Bobby abstained, and we completed those ones. Good job. Nice. All right, Bobby, you're back up. Article 38 for, actually, can you do,
38,
Bobby?
sewer.
Can you do
Huh?
sewer or no?
Yeah, I can do sewer.
You can do sewer.
Why not?
You're back up.
38, sewer. Sewer enterprise budget. Make an approval of $2,663,821.61 coming from the sewer funds.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Article 39.
39, sewer again, phase 2. Wastewater treatment plant engineering study, $300,000. I make a motion to approve from the sewer undesignated fund.
Second.
I have
Is
a
that
motion
under-
and a second.
Is
All
that,
in
that's
favor?
under sewer, but that's a weak, all right, never mind, I'm sorry.
Wastewater, yeah.
Yeah, wastewater.
Wastewater treatment plant, sewer plant, yeah.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
I'm thinking water department, guys.
Aye.
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 40, sewer again. Sewer pump and injector station repair and or replace inflow and infiltration. $100,000. Make a motion to approve from
I have a
the
motion to
sewer
approve.
undesignated fund balance.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Article 41.
Aye. 41, sewer inflow and infiltration. $100,000 from the sewer undesignated fund balance.
Second.
Motion.
Oh, it's $100,000.
I have a second from Megan. All in favor?
Aye.
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 This article number 42, it's non-financial. This is doing a restriction for the Hot Stuff Park properties that we have, and it's an open space restriction that's required for the deed. So it's non-financial. So you can probably just recommend.
So
as
make it
presented.
approve. I make a motion to approve Article 42 as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Articles 43 and 44 are in relation to the community preservation, of which the committee would just need to approve as presented. Although they
I
are
make a
financial.
motion to approve Article. I make a motion to approve Article 43 and Article 44 as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay,
Now, Biz, in the past, the town council had asked us to vote them, but we did vote them. So I'm just assuming that we're okay, that we didn't have to mention the dollars and the funding source.
yeah, we should be okay with that because CPA is a little bit different than all the other funds within a community. They're kind of self-sustaining. And articles
They're just
40,
moving money around there, or those don't need to be on, those aren't for specific projects that need to be on the capital plan. right?
the only thing that's on here is the Reed's Pond Spring Lake. And that is, Derek had already presented that to the Capitol. That's for the
Right.
potential purchase. Potential purchase. We're not sure if it's going to go through, but we needed the article on the warrant.
I'm just trying to see if it should be on the capital plan, if it
Yeah,
is.
43 is just literally moving the money.
It is on the capital plan, Bob. I mean, Joe.
It
Okay.
It is.
Yeah, under Reed's Pond land.
So Article 45, there's no
Oh, it's under the
opinion
park.
for any of these for 45 through 54 because
They're
There's no financial
non-financial,
impact, so the finance committee doesn't have to recommend as presented either, because there's no financial impact on that one.
right, they're strictly zoning and overlay.
Okay,
So
is
there's
that
no
everything, Chris?
financials. That's everything.
Okay. Anything else we need to vote on?
Not that I'm aware of. We have no
Well,
transfers this week and everything else seems to be fine. And Mr. McDonald, you wanted to say something? I'm sorry.
yeah. Usually, remember in the past, usually on them zoning, articles, we always made a recommendation to refer to zoning. Do we have to do that anymore?
It's, all the recommendations are already in the packet. I don't think a formal vote by the committee is necessary. This is submitted by the Board of Selectmen. Okay.
The, one thing,
All right.
in the past, zoning board, planning board, things like that, all of their the departments, I believe, that was listed was not Board of Selectmen, it was actually zoning.
I can speak to that. I
Thank
can
you.
speak to that.
Yes, sir.
So this particular zoning article, there's a number of different articles all related to the same thing, which is this overlay district. And somebody has to initiate the zoning and send it to the planning board for their public hearings. And that was the Board of Selectmen. So this zoning article, through discussions with local developers and assistance with MAPC, et cetera, it's the board that's actually sponsoring it and referring it to the planning board. It did not originate with the Zoning Board of Appeals. And it did not originate by a formal petition from folks in the public. So that it's the selectmen that have taken the vote to formally sponsor this and refer it to the planning board.
Okay, Doug, now, come town meeting, when we come up to them articles, I think we should get a selectman to get up and explain it, because in the past, when it comes up to stuff like this, we have so many people that get up and say, we don't understand it, you know what I mean? And it just becomes a ball of confusion with a lot of the citizens. So
Yeah, no, that's fine, Bob.
if you
Yeah.
could talk to the selectmen, to get one to get up and stand up and to say these articles, from 45 to 54, this is what they're about. Because if not, it's going to be confusion and
Yeah, some
It's a pain in the
residents
ass.
may think it's
Maybe
actual
because-
changing the zoning and that will affect their property or whatever.
Right. And the planning board is going to be holding public hearings, and presumably the planning board is going to be recommending these. So it might even make more sense for the planning board
Right.
their role to speak to it. But absolutely, somebody will be able to speak to these articles, rest assured.
Okay.
So with that, Biz, is there anything else on the agenda from the town that they needed to have us resolve?
No, sir, this covers everything for tonight. I have no transfers at this point in time.
Is that what that was? The last one was 54 articles?
Yep,
You
it's
scrolled
like
it up.
30 articles less than last year or something like that. So
Yeah,
That's a
we
huge-
have 80 something.
huge step in the right direction. I like that. All right.
I just want to thank all of you this year. You all did a great job. Another year down the drain. Hopefully quick.
Thank you.
No, thank you, guys. I do want to highlight, there is one article that we took off, which was related to the sewer department. If you notice, in addition to the enterprise funds, we're establishing stabilization fund for the water department. But the sewer department, they didn't vote to support that, not because they're necessarily opposed to it, but it was just a lot of new information for them. They're in the middle of hiring a new superintendent, and it was just a lot for them to kind of get into right now. So that's the only article that we removed because, they're not comfortable with that one yet. So we might do that at a later town meeting. But thanks for what you said, Bobby.
Yeah, you all did a great job. Great job.
I've been on
Doug,
this.
have they found a superintendent yet? The
They're
source?
still working on it. They're still working on it.
I've been on this committee for a long time, and I don't think it's ever been clearer or more concise than it is this year. It's
It's,
a very big asset to the town.
You're right,
Thank you.
absolutely right, Julie.
Thank you,
This
Biz.
is my
Thank you.
19th year. It's the easiest, it seemed like the easiest year ever in 19 years.
I know it.
Well, that's what we like to hear. And, Biz and I are both big believers and we always want to improve. So as each year as we get through this, if there's things that we can do better, let us know, let John know, and we'll keep improving every year.
Thank you for the comments.
Welcome.
Yeah, great job, everyone. I appreciate everybody's time, especially taking the time out of their day. It's been an interesting year trying to get used to the new technology and everything else. Bobby has email. I mean, things just like can't get any
Well,
crazier, right?
Yeah,
So
got this thing going on right.
Is there any
I
news
don't know
of
about
when
it.
we're back into town hall?
Huh?
Is there any news of when we're gonna get back into town hall?
There is. So we are in the process of doing that now. We're going to do it as kind of a soft opening because we really don't want people just poking their head in to walk around and chat. That's not what we want. We're going to have it be controlled. But yes, we are implementing that now, and it's going to be more of a soft opening again, so that we don't have extra people walking around that we don't need to. So if you need to get work done, business conducted, it'll
Well, I
happen.
was thinking of these meetings, the FinCom meetings.
No, so what we're talking about is opening up the building for individuals to be able to come in to get a transaction done, but our room not big enough to be able to accommodate everyone with the appropriate distance in between everybody's chairs. So we're not able to have public meetings yet indoors. That's going to have to come later.
Okay.
all right.
Yeah, I want Julie. I just want
What?
Bobby's doing some dances over there. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what you said, Bob.
Yeah. We'll get back to that. I'm sure he'll bring that back up. But let me
everybody
just
throw.
let me go through a couple of things. Let's look at the calendar ahead. So April, we technically have to have a meeting in April. According to the charter, we have to meet every month. So, Biz, Doug, strategically, if there was a change, is there a chance for us to meet in such a way that you could get a change done and still meet your deadline for publishing? Or do you want me to not worry about that at all?
I mean, my intent, I appreciate you asking that, John. My intent is that the warrant will be physically signed and picked up by the constable by Wednesday, the 7th. I wouldn't plan a meeting in April based on the warrant. I can't foresee anything changing in time.
Well, we have to have a meeting in April.
We do have to have one meeting.
So I would do it maybe late in April in case there was some last minute thing that came in that we were going to make it.
Oh, I may have a finance committee transfer request that'll be coming up. It was discussed today. I'm waiting for more information from the veterans agent in order to put, the little veterans star things that they put at the grave sites.
Mhm.
They would like to do those
Yeah.
at the graves in Rockland because they haven't been updated in a number of years. So I'm trying to get the veterans agents getting me a price on that. So as soon as I have that, I'll put that request through to you, and they will probably want to do it for the Memorial Day. So it'll be a quick turnaround on the request. So probably second meet April 6th. Would you want to meet April 7th? Or, I mean, it's up to your schedules, not mine.
I'm checking one
I have
of those.
a really tight schedule. I'm only available 7th, 14th, 21, and 28.
All right, so we want to stay away from the week of the 19th to the 23rd. I can't meet that week because that's vacation week. So if we want to put a tentative one out there for April 14th, that should give Biz you plenty of time to get together what you need. Do you think that will work for you?
I am on vacation that week. However, if I have the documentation available, I can send it to you, and I don't feel as though I would need to be there because I'm
Right.
giving you a heads up now. So if you want to
Yes.
vote on that, if I'm not here, that's fine with me.
Yeah, and we can invite the veterans agent to that meeting. That's no problem. So we'll tentatively schedule for April 14th. If anything comes up with his changes, but chances are it'll be a quick meeting. We'll get on, we'll do meeting minutes that Julie has put together and is going to be distributing. We'll go through those. We'll probably handle this one-off request from our reserve fund. And then we'll adjourn. So again, chances are it'll be a half an hour, 45-minute meeting max. Then we'll meet again on May 3rd, which is town meeting.
Town meeting. Yeah.
Okay. And we generally shoot for, like I would say a 6:30 p.m. meeting. Town meeting starts at 7. If the town has any adjustments or things that they need to make, they'll have the Board of Selectmen there. Usually even capital planning is there, et cetera, et cetera. We can push through and punch through a few things. And then we can meet at 6:30 p.m. to handle any adjustments, or if there's an article that has to be revoted because of wording or change in funding source or any of those last minute things that occasionally happen. Okay. So May 3rd at 6:30 p.m.
Okay, John, I won't be there on May 3rd. I'll be on vacation, so somebody will have to pay attention, and if there are any votes taken.
Already
Okay.
minutes.
All right.
And
All right.
Hey, can I bring what? Can I bring food this year or what?
I didn't understand.
I don't know what you said, Bob.
Could I drink?
Can you
Can I
bring
bring-
little sandwiches, finger sandwiches?
Bob wants to bring sandwiches.
Oh, I don't know if you can.
Let's wait until late April before we make that call. We'll see how we're doing. All right. So, on May 3rd, we may need somebody to step up and take notes.
Just
Craig's been
individually
great about-
wrap them, Bob.
Craig's been great about doing it, so I don't want to nominate Craig, but if someone else wants to jump in there.
But you'll
and take notes-
volunteer him? I'll be voluntold.
Volunteer Jeff, he's not here.
All right. Well, there you go. Welcome.
I
back.
got the template already, so I don't mind doing it. It'll be a quick meeting.
Say, Jeff's pretty good at backing up on the capital plan minutes.
Okay. Linda, you've had the chance to observe our meeting. Any questions from you?
No, it's very interesting, very informative.
All right. Yeah, we try to have as much fun as we can, given the topic of conversation.
Yeah. Tonight was mostly voting and stuff, but I mean, typically we have a lot of discussion going on on different issues.
Right. Anything to report before I take the meeting to adjourn? I don't know. Bill, you had some, you said that this year's meetings weren't very good with the Massachusetts, was it the MNA or whatever it is, the meeting there.
MMA.
Yeah, that's right. We got spoiled with the meeting a year and a half ago at Bridgewater State, which was great, as you know.
Was
John, you
good.
and I were in the same sessions. This year was not like that at all. It was very frustrating. There just wasn't actionable information. There wasn't something you could take away and say, boy, that's something we should really be doing.
All right. Last points for me is we will have some requests coming up from the clerk's office regarding training, open meeting law, looking at, any potential conflicts of interest, things like that. For those of you on the committee, you've probably taken these courses before. So those requirements will come up. There's also usually a signature page that goes around. We get, each year we try and get a refresh on who's on the committee, who's off the committee. And they start to refresh those records back at town hall. So expect those things, to come around. I'm going to see if we can skip the whole signature part of it and just send a list over to the town clerk. And then, the next meeting after town meeting, getting into June or July, we'll want to probably vote for officers for the next year. As I've said to you guys the last 3 years, the chair's sheet is certainly open. It's a lot of extra work, but if it's something that you want to do,
Before you begin,
build your resume, or you want to take a change, take a turn here doing it, I'm perfectly fine stepping aside. So feel as though you're stepping on any toes if you would like to put your name forward. Okay, but just be prepared, because when the time comes up, I'm just going to ask people to vote or nominate, and I want to hear from you. If you're interested, make your decision known at that point. Okay, but that's it for me. Anything else from anybody else?
See, they're putting the fence up at Memorial Park. The school's getting ready to go next week, I guess. That's gonna be good.
Say that again.
The new school, they put the fence up around the Memorial Park today. They've been doing it last week, so they're breaking ground next week, I think.
Yes, they're breaking ground next week.
Oh, that's
Now,
exciting.
are they gonna have a ceremony or anything, Julie, when they do that? With
They-
selectmen, or just gonna start the day out?
They're kind of watching the rules from the state as to how many people can gather.
Yeah,
So that's been holding up the final decision of whether, how big the celebration is going to be, or whether it's just going to be the committee and the Board of Selectmen. Still up in the air.
Oh, I want to go kick a shovel of dirt.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well,
Yeah,
let's
go
focus
over.
on financial things at this
Yeah.
point. So let me just ask, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting.
motion to adjourn, you old fuddy-duddy.
I got a motion. I have a second, and a second from Lori. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Thanks, everyone.